All right, Wolf Bear Records is here with Kinzie Rose. How are you doing today?
I am doing amazing today.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Fresno, California, born and raised, still live here actually. And I've been doing music since I was about 4. I had to
Four?
really think about I had to really think about that. 4 is when I really like broke out and I learned that I could sing. And from there, I was just my mom kind of was my push. She pushed me, and I would perform for family. It went from performing to family, and then by 9, I was actually doing it was my first live performance. And then that same day, I got my first TV gig, and then from there, it just took off.
Oh, you're in TV?
Uh-Huh.
You're going down.
Okay. Yeah, so it was like an internet show. It was called Central Valley Talk. That's where I really started and grew up on that. And I still go on it once in a while. I actually co-hosted on a show for a long time, actually. I think for maybe about 4 years, maybe 3. I was a co-host,
Oh, wow.
and it was a lot of fun. I like it because like I've done just about any interview you can think of. I've done a radio interview, I've done a TV interview, of course I've done live interviews, and each one's different, which is the best part about it. Everybody's different, and you meet all these quirky people, and it's so much fun. And in music, it's the same way. You meet all these quirky people, and that's just how my life's been. I have so many friends. I have so many other artist people that I work with, and it's a blast.
All right, so tell me some of your influences.
Some of my influences are Amy Winehouse, most definitely. I love her music, and I actually love performing her music. And then there's Sam Smith. He's an influence as well. He's my favorite artist of all time. And then Adele as well. We have Etta James. I do a lot of her music, but I also love a lot of her music. And I do some Donny Hathaway. He's a great artist as well. And he was probably, I didn't see it coming, but believe it or not, he probably had the most influence on how I sing now.
That is how do you say that? I mean, what is makes it? Is it
Like
like the
like
songs or is it?
it's when I listen to music, I don't just like listen to like just listen to the song. I listen to how the artist is singing. And someone pointed out to me that I mimic sometimes. I'll sing a song and I'll mimic what that artist is doing. And so I've learned to hone on that skill, and like I listen to songs over and over and over and over and over again. But the reason I listen to it over and over and over again, most people it would drive them crazy. But for me, I'm learning different runs or different ways of doing things when I listen to other artists and listen to their songs. And I'll listen to covers of that same song by other people, and everyone does it differently, and they do runs in different places. So that helps me. So when I do my music, I kind of try and not do exactly what that run was, but I try to do it in my own way and make it mine and put it in my music.
Right. That's
So
kind of
that's
cool. So you kind of make it your own thing. You just instead of doing
yeah,
it their way, you do it your way.
exactly. Because you can't copy what that artist is doing because that's illegal. It's illegal.
Yeah.
But you can copy them and then make it your own, and then it's yours.
Right. So you said you started when you were 4.
Yes.
That's amazing. So how many have you toured a lot lately?
Not lately, of course, COVID, everything. But before COVID, I believe a year before COVID, um, this was actually my junior year of high school. I did this little tour um, kind of up and down California. So I did some shows in SAC. I did a show in LA, and then a couple like just little towns between there. And it was a lot of fun. It was my first tour. It's the only tour I've actually ever done. I really want to do it again because I feel like the first tour I did, it was kind of just touch and go, you know. But and I didn't know what touring really was at that point. Now that I kind of have a feel for it, I feel like it'll be a lot more fun if I did it now.
Yeah, that does sound a little bit of fun. So you said COVID's affected you?
Oh, most definitely.
Did you ever think of maybe doing online
I've
performances?
thought of, I've thought about it, but it's for me, it's not the same. I love the live performing. I like to actually be there because I feel like if I'm there in front of you, I'm gonna feel what you're feeling. You know, I'm gonna get that vibe off of you. And for me, over the phone or just video chatting, or it's I don't know, it's harder. It's harder to get that feel of that other person's energy or how they're feeling. What can I do as the artist to get you to feel, you know?
So do you have your own songs or you do mostly cover?
I have music out right now. I have I believe I have 4 songs out right now, and 3 of them have music videos on YouTube. You can find them on Spotify, you can find them on iTunes. One of my songs, I believe you can only find on SoundCloud at the moment, and it's free. You can download it. It's called You and Me. But yes, I do have I have my own music that I perform, but I also do covers. I do both.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So did you ever think of maybe doing like a tour like around the whole United States or going out of the United States?
Oh yes, because okay, here's a little secret. I have never been outside of California ever in my entire life. I've never even been to San Diego. I don't believe I've been to Santa Barbara. I've never been to Santa Cruz. Um, I've been to Sacramento a lot. I've been to San Francisco once, but all I did was perform and then go straight back to my hotel room. I didn't actually get to see San Francisco. So I would love to do a tour across the United States or even outside of the country. That sounds amazing. It sounds fun. And I've always wanted to go out of country. You know, my dream is actually to live in Greece or Rome or someplace like that. Um, but I would love to. I'd love to go across the United States touring or go out of country to tour. That sounds amazing and like a lot of fun.
Well, we might have to do that. We might have to get you out of California.
That would be great.
Broaden your
That would be
horizons.
great.
That would be amazing. So you working on a new album now or?
Right now I'm kind of working on singles, but I do have something in the works. I'm not gonna give you all the details yet, but there is something coming, so be prepared. I will definitely let you know when it comes out. But I have some things in the works right now.
Well, that sounds neat. I'm excited to see that.
Oh, I'm glad.
Especially if you're being secret about it. It must be good.
Of course it's gonna be good. I do my best to put out timeless music. That's my goal with my musical career. I don't really care about being famous. I don't care if I have a lot of money. I care about if you will remember me after I die. If my music will still be played after I'm gone. That's my goal.
Okay. Usually people don't say that, but it sounds like you really, really love singing, and that's awesome.
I do. I've done it my whole life. Some I do it throughout my life. Random moments, I'll break into song. It's just I'll clean, break out into song. I'll watch TV and then all of a sudden I'll start singing. Or I'll be in the car and I'll sing a different song than what's on what's actually playing.
Really?
And Yeah, I'll do that sometimes. I'll think of a completely different song as there's one song playing, and I'll sing it with the beat of the song that is playing.
Now, now, do you play an instrument?
If you count my voice, I play about 8. I can play 8.
Really?
Yes. Um, the first instrument I ever played was actually the alto saxophone. That's what I started. And then from there, it went from alto to tenor. And then from tenor, I did baritone as well. I did the baritone sax. And let me tell you, as a, what was it? As a, as an 8th grader, carrying around a baritone saxophone, that case,
It's
I'm a small person. I'm very tiny. I'm maybe only 5 foot now. Like right, I'm 5 foot, 5'1". In 8th grade, the case the case was like up to almost my shoulder, and I had to carry that around with me all day to all my classes. It was a pain. So I did the baritone. I did the cello as well, which was my favorite. It's actually my all-time favorite instrument is the cello. I learned how to play the keyboard a little bit. I play guitar. I can play ukulele. I don't have one at the moment, but I can play ukulele, and of course I sing. So what's it? 3 saxophones, the piano, we got the ukulele, we have the cello, we have the guitar, and of course my singing. So all together, that's about 8.
That's amazing. Although you didn't cover the trumpet, which I did for 8 years.
Actually, my mom did the trumpet.
Yeah, I did trumpet for 8 years. It was,
I I don't know the trumpet. Like I saw it, it looked cool. The trumpet looked cool. Don't get me wrong. The trumpet. I've seen some amazing trumpet players, and I give them props for it. I just don't know if I could have done the trumpet. I'm shocked that I even did the saxophone, even though it was amazing. It was a lot of fun. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I
you
could
did
do
the
the trumpet.
baritone. The baritone's pretty close.
True. That took a lot of.
It takes a lot of wind. It takes a lot of wind, and you get the ring of death on your lip. The
I remember that
saxophone, the
right
saxophone,
here.
you got the stick, so it's not you got the wood, so
But you gotta be careful because you don't want it to get
too wet.
too wet. If it's too wet, you're not gonna get anything.
That is the truth for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I did a pep band for basketball, and I did marching band for football, and I did concert band.
The only thing I did in high school, band wise, was guitar. I thought about marching band, but I didn't have time for marching band because I was doing music outside of school as well.
Now,
So, and my trouble with guitar actually is I'm terrible at learning other people's songs on guitar. It's difficult for me.
oh, I see.
So, yeah, that's one. They're all 4 of them are here now. They're all here now. But for guitar, our final for guitar class, we have to learn any song we wanted to. But me, being of course me, for some reason I could not, for the life of me, I could not get my. I don't know if maybe I'm just tiny and guitars are huge compared to me, but I couldn't do it. It was difficult. So instead, I just wrote a song for my guitar final, and it was so much easier than learning a song. So much easier.
So you prefer making your own music on guitar versus trying to do somebody else's music.
Yeah. If it's me personally performing and it's just me, I rather do my own music than do someone else's. It's easier, and it's easier for me. But if I'm working with like say another guitar player and a drummer and a bass, like just a whole like putting a little band together, of course we'll do covers. And especially if we're all going to perform together and we're in a band format, most people, at least in Fresno, that's how it is, rather hear covers when it comes to bands. They rather hear covers than their music. Because with the covers, they can sing along, they can participate. As for your music, not so much.
Well, yeah, because they don't really know your music yet. That's why I used to go. I used to go to watch bands all the time at the bar, and they would do cover songs, and then they would throw in one of their songs, do some more cover songs. They'd intermix their stuff in there, so that way their stuff was actually getting out there as well.
Right.
So did you ever do that?
I'm not old enough to do that yet. I have one more year until, I'm allowed to just walk into a bar and then chill at the bar. But I started doing shows in bars probably about 16. So can kind of, I can kind of grasp what you're talking about like just going to bars and checking out bands. Cause some bars I'd have to leave right after I perform. And then some I wouldn't. So the ones that I wouldn't, I'd stick around, hear other bands, hear what music they have, and it was actually pretty cool. I met some pretty cool bands, some pretty cool people. It was cool.
Did they ever put an axe on your hand?
Always, always, and it was always this hand. I always had an X. Sometimes they would do both hands, and
Nope,
then I'd
not
have
allowed
my
to drink.
my
She's not allowed to drink.
No, I wasn't. But of course, my mom would go with me. She tried to sneak me a drink or two. Um, but don't tell anybody.
Tell nobody. Who would I tell? You're telling on yourself.
But but I am excited because next year I will be able to just walk into a bar. I will be able to just go to a bar, get a drink, and listen to people perform.
Yeah. Hopefully, things get back to normal next year.
Oh my goodness, I'm hoping. I'm so hoping because I have this whole birthday plan for next year and I'm praying. I am literally on my knees praying COVID is over by then so I can, because my birthday this year, I was going to drive up to Oregon because I've never been out of state. So that was going to be my first out of state trip was Oregon. But of course that didn't happen because of all the fires going on. So I just had an edible party instead.
Oh, that stinks. You would actually have left California.
Right? Would have been so much fun.
I do want to visit Cali because that's one of the states I have not been to yet.
It's very sunny, depending on where you go. The beaches, it also depends on which beach you go to. But a lot of the beaches are actually really nice. They're very pretty.
I want to go to the Santa Monica Pier.
I have only been to Santa Monica once and I was never on the pier.
What? How could you not? There's rides on there.
I've never. It was kind of me and my friend went to LA because she had to do this show, and we kind of just stopped by one of the beaches real quick and just hung out, and then we went back to our hotel room.
Wow. So I heard LA's pretty cool. I want to visit LA.
LA is big.
What?
Maybe it's just me because I live in California. I've been to LA. There are some pretty parts of LA, and there are some that aren't very clean. And Tent City is just really sad. But I would definitely recommend going to LA. There's a lot of cool spots to eat. There's a lot of cool spots to go. There's a lot of places that you can't really find anywhere else in Cali besides LA.
Well, I told somebody the other day, I said they must have an app in California, especially around LA, that tells you who's doing where they're videoing that day. Because I'm pretty sure there's probably like a million sets going on at one time all around that whole city.
Always. They always have shows going on in LA.
I know.
I've known and so many. Like on one block there might be like 3 or 4 shows going on. But
Really?
it's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
They usually have that like in one time. They have like 3 or 4 at one time.
Yeah, sometimes I've seen it to where there was maybe like 2 or 3 going on at the same time, just different places. Especially when Art Hop comes around. when Art Hop comes around, most definitely there's a lot of shows going on.
That's awesome. Well, you'll probably see my fiance's uh movie coming up soon.
Oh shoot, that's exciting.
Yeah, we just pitched 3 books to the movie people.
3 books. That
Three
is
books.
amazing. Is it gonna be like a series?
Yes, it's a series. So that's why we pitched all 3 at once. She actually forced the third one out real quick so that way they could pitch all 3.
That's exciting. I love series movies. I love especially like Lord of the Rings. That was one of my favorite series movies. Harry Potter was really good. Star Wars is my all-time favorite, of course. All-time favorite.
Well, you're gonna have to. I don't have. Well, maybe I do. All right, hold on. Okay, well, you're talking about series. Okay, you gotta check out this series.
Party Down Under. Okay, is it like is it like horror? Is it
Oh no, it's LGBTQ
okay?
and it's a suspense thriller.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, there's the first one. You see the first one, okay?
Mhm.
All right, and here is the second one.
Okay, the party continues.
Yep, this one just came out.
Okay. And so is the third one out yet, or
It will
it was
be.
out just to pitch?
The pitch is out. The script for the movie because as we had to pay for all those because you know you gotta
Mhm.
when you pitch them they got to be in script form, so we had to pay somebody to put it into script form. So the 2 books are out right now. The third book is in the process right now, and in probably 2 months it should be out.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to read the series.
Yeah, you would definitely have to read it. It's got a lot of suspense in it.
I love suspense. It's one of my favorite things.
So yeah, I'll text you after we're done with this and I'll explain a little more about it.
Okay.
But anyway, back to you. How did we get turned? You were talking about movies, and I'm so excited that she's actually pitching it to the movie creators.
I would be too. I would most definitely be excited.
Yeah, especially when you got 3 movies and they're bored. They're remaking movies that from like 1980. So you can't
Oh
tell me
yeah.
they're not gonna snag that.
I know they remade The Grudge.
I know, right?
They remade Child's Play. What else did they remake? They right now it's not really shocking when they redo movies because especially horror movies, they're redoing them with, of course, the technology we have now. Um, but it's honestly, it's kind of just disappointing to watch redone horror movies.
It's because they're bored. They have nothing. People are submitting stuff and they don't. You know they've already done something like it, so they don't grab it. So now that's why we were so eager to submit 3 books. Who wouldn't take that?
I don't know who wouldn't take that. If they didn't take that, they would be
Because
seriously out of their mind.
it went to like Paramount, HBO, like the big dudes. So I mean,
Mhm.
he's going big.
That's good. Go big or go home.
I mean, right?
Go big or go home.
So anyway, where can people? Obviously, you said that people can get your stuff on any normal platform, and
Yes.
your Facebook, obviously.
Mhm.
Do you have a website?
Not at the moment. I did have a website. I did, but there's a lot of things going on with it, so we're trying to redo it, get it all put together, looking better than it was, you know? But you can find all my music on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, of course, SoundCloud as well. And one thing you need to know about how I write, which is going to help you understand the music better, is I write from personal experiences. It's easier for me that way. It helps me to emotionally connect to the song, but also emotionally connect to the people and my audience. So, yeah.
That's now when you perform, is it just you or do you perform with a band or
It depends. I have some more poppy songs. When I do my poppy songs, that's what I do on my own. I'll do those on my own. But when it comes to my slower songs, I actually have a guitar player who comes and he plays with me, and we write music together as well.
oh
Me
cool.
and him have a song out. One of my songs with him is "Say His Name," and it's definitely an amazing song. I love it. And then we started doing one of my other songs, which I didn't do with him. I wrote this to a beat that I found. I ended up buying the beat. It's called "I'm Not Superman." But me and him do those two songs together. "I'm Not Superman" and "Say His Name." And those are my two slower songs. So when it comes to my more vulnerable songs, he's with me. When it comes to my poppy songs, I'm just
You're by yourself.
yeah, I'm just on my own.
All right. All right, lady. So thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Anytime. And yeah, we'll catch you later sometime.
For sure. And then most definitely keep me updated on the movie because I would love to watch it.
Okay, I
The
will.
series.
All right. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
All right.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye bye.
One more night, one more cry, one more time to say goodbye. Let us breathe, let us walk, take a knee, let us talk, and say his name, say his name. He is the face of change. And say his name, say his name. This day in the time for change. One more wrong, one more fight. Let us gather in the night. Bring our struggle to light. Now's the time to make it right. And say his name, say his name. He is the face of change. And say his name, say his name. He is the face and the voice of change. Give us this day to feel our pain. Tears falling like rain. A world on fire like an ember. Now these days we will remember to say his name, say his name. He is the face of change. And say his name, say his name. He is the face of change. is the face of change, and say here's an end.